Dasha Nekrasova dropped by Gersh, which is I guess it's a talent agency, amid backlash to white nationalist Nick Fuentes interview. The podcaster and Succession actress was also cut from the feature film Iconoclast in the fallout. Exactly what it says on the tin. Red Scare did an interview with Nick Fuentes how long ago was that? 2 weeks ago at this point?
Something like that.
Yeah, it was right before the Tucker Carlson one, if I recall.
Yeah, and both she and Anna Kachayan were present. Within that time period, she was let go from her talent agency and cut from her contract was pulled from the movie Iconoclast. Is that another A24 movie? Does anybody know?
Good question. We should Google it.
Someone in chat will know that.
I don't know.
I mean, A20. Go ahead.
Reported here by ET that Gal Gadot will be replacing her on Red Scare.
Nice. Iconoclast is thrill director Greg Gabriel Basso making his directorial debut. I can't find out if this is an A24 joint or not.
What is an A24 movie? Us non-movie people, can you explain that to us?
So A24 is a studio, and they made the Civil War movie. They've made a couple of their thing is they do what used to be kind of common in Hollywood, where they make mid-level budget movies. They're not making superhero $500 million movies. They're making kind of mid-level stuff, and they're pretty popular. The Green Knight, art house movies, stuff like that. That's their deal. I don't know. I don't watch their movies personally, but it's a niche in the ecosystem that existed and up until I don't know, the 2010s, right? Around the time that Disney executives discovered they could push out superhero slop and get $2 billion every time, and now that's all movies are either that or $2 million budget slasher movies that people forget about after 15 minutes.
Well, Sam Hyde's got a bit where he says that A24 movies are more specifically Jewish than even other film companies or whatever.
I wasn't aware of that.
Maybe that ties to this story, apparently.
Described as taxi driver for the internet age, Iconoclast follows a reclusive young man whose dangerous obsession with a live streaming influencer increasingly erodes his grip on reality. The film is currently in production. Oh, okay.
Well, maybe she was, what do you call that thing where you do real life to be actor?
Okay,
method acting.
Yeah. It's wrong that you should be punished for sitting down and having an interview with someone like Nick Fuentes, with anybody like that. You should be able to interview anybody. I mean, you should be able to interview the scum of the earth. A show is a show. People said stuff about us like, I'll interview someone on death row. Look, a show is a show. It's not anything else. That's what a show is. Like Tucker Carlson used to interview Antifa criminals and stuff. He would interview all kinds of people on Fox News.
Throwback to Tuesday's show. He's the one that made Lauren Duca's career, right? That was where I first heard of her. That interview.
Yeah. Now I don't know what happened on that show. I don't know Dasha at all. We know Anna came on this back when we were on Twitch.
Our very first stream, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not those ladies serve cunt. Yeah.
That's good in the gay slang, right?
Yeah.
To do that, yeah. Okay.
This has got to be I think she'll land on her feet. Obviously, they've got the biggest podcast in the world. There's every famous person alive says they listen to it. That probably like the totality of the cancellation. I mean, this is the biggest cancellation I've seen ever. Where like even like the management company, it made it sound like even your agents,
Well,
yeah, you're
yeah, yeah, that's exactly what happened. Her agency let her go, and I asked a friend who knows more about the business than I do, and he said, yeah, if when your talent agency or however it's framed, I think that's the proper terminology. Like when they dump you, that's because they don't think they can make money off of you anymore. So yeah, it is serious. And like obviously, if your contract got pulled from the movie that she's on while it's in production, that is a big deal. Let me read to you what the article in Deadline said, because this is I guess the interesting part. The conversation, which has been viewed 220,000 times to date on YouTube, that is, touches on many controversial topics. The trio discusses, quote, international Jewry, end quote, on multiple occasions, perpetuating offensive stereotypes about Jews as well as Italians, Asians, and others, along with eyebrow-raising comments about the Holocaust and immigrants from developing countries, especially non-white ones. Their interview subject, Fuentes, is widely considered the leader of the, quote, Groypers, end quote, a movement of young right-wing activists with an America First ideology who take issue with mainstream conservatism and advocates more extreme positions. Notably, he's more extreme in his views than Charlie Kirk, the Trump-allied media personality assassinated on September 10th while speaking at a Utah debate event. He's a well-known white nationalist and Holocaust denier. Publicly described himself as a Christian nationalist, espousing anti-LGBT, anti-feminist, misogynist views while calling out TPUSA, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I mean, obviously this is part of the full court press to, I don't know how I'd like to phrase it politely, to create in the media this showdown where, like a fellow streamer is the equivalent of the Austrian painter, and make this into something that I don't think it is. And look, man, if you have sometimes people ask, like, you know, why we still use pseudonyms and you know, why are we Rod Serling and Macho Man Randy Savage instead of ourselves? Because if you run afoul of the wrong people, that's it for you professionally. They're going to horribly punish you, and it's not always clear where the red lines are. Although I would argue in this case, it probably, like, I think if you say international Jewry in a conversation that's being filmed, and you're like, you don't have like a mask on or something, you're probably going to lose your job.
I've never even heard that. I've read. The only place I've heard that is obviously Henry Ford wrote a book called that or something like that. Yeah, someone said Red Scare had Bannon, Bapp, Sailor on, but they drew the line at Fuentes. Pretty clear what's going on. Yeah, the other thing that's weird is that it happened like in the article. It's funny, you can tell Hollywood's all run by like gay. Hollywood press is all gays, right? Because the article, they included like another little knife jab that said, the interview happened 2 weeks ago, but no one listened to it. They just found out about it like last night, which is like, that's really petty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, we would have fired you, but we don't listen to your shitty podcast, so we just didn't know about it. Yeah, I don't know. That's petty. I mean, this is like, we haven't seen like a full court cancellation like this for a while. And yeah, using your face and using your title and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know how much money I'd have to make, because like, you can go on Kiwi Farms, and there's people who like, you're going to be this internet character for the rest of your life, and for not a whole lot of money, it just doesn't seem worth it to me. Yeah. Now, obviously, if I was making Red Scare money, I don't know about that. It might be different. Might be a different ball game. But I don't know. It's huge. I don't know how much acting is important to her, or that it's just something she just walked into. This feels like, I don't know. in the 2010s, like you would just be gone and nobody would have to say anything. This one's kind of crazy. Like they just came out and said, yeah, you never get to hear what you did in the old days, right? It was just like, oh, your account's closed now, etc. Or the phone, or the Hollywood version be your phone stops ringing.
Right, euphemisms and stuff. This time they just said, hey, yeah, this is why.
You don't do this if you do this. And it's weird because it's not like he's going to be, a lot of it is part of like this internecine, like right-wing war. Like, there was this statement printed up, someone printed this thing that said like 30% of Capitol Hill staffers under 40 are watch Nick Fuentes. That's not true. I mean, I'm not saying anything good or bad about him, or like his viewership numbers would be astronomical if that was true.
There's no 20 or 30% of all these people aren't watching any of the same thing. That would be like Walter Cronkite numbers of viewers, no matter what. Like, yeah, it's like no matter how you feel about him as a political commentator, like you have to be David Muir to get those kind of numbers. So like obviously that was exaggerated.
Yeah, if you add it up like Fuentes, Bap, Tim Pool, quartering, like maybe you get to 20%. I mean, I don't know. Whippet says Dasha, some friends and I places I think are always got an impression. Well, of course, but it's like, well, you can still watch with the heritage thing. Lots of people have friends. They go to battle. But going back to the thing about pissing people off, and like, it's not just like that there's an Illuminati somewhere. This is one of the reasons why it's so important to have Jersh on, Josh Moon, because he explained like he's the most persecuted man on earth. Like and for him, he's like, no, it's not like the Illuminati's after me. It's just one person who is like a ground floor investor or whatever at Google, who's a person of gender, really hates my guts, and that's really it. If you have $1 billion and you hate Josh Moon, you can't just ruin his life. Oh, I mean, he's still doing good, but I mean, like, his life is much more difficult.
Bencito 2, thank you. 5 more subs, we appreciate it. Buddy.
5 subs, let's go.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, the cancel, like, oh, hey, and now Plato's Goon Cave, 5 more. Thank you.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I look, man, the cancelings, obviously they're not as bad as they were in 2020, but they're never going to go away from places where like progressivism has absolute control. And to some extent, like the university system is kind of weird because while they do have complete control of the university system is in some ways beholden to state and local governments. But like Hollywood's not at all. So that place will be the even if you won and you had like the debased Reconquista of the United States, that would be the absolute last holdout. That'd be like Grenada, just bunkering down there until the last light goes out. So yeah, I don't know. It's a shame. You shouldn't be punished for interviewing people, but obviously you're gonna be. There are certain people that you're not allowed to talk to, and really, whenever it's like when you see who you can talk to and when you can't talk to, that gets people's almonds activated. That gets noggins jogging, and that's always how you see like what the actual deal is. Like in 2020, you could not criticize the fentanyl addict who died in police custody. That was not permitted. Croatian Ox with 5 more subs. Let's go.
Fuck yeah, man. Thank you guys. Big support. Hell yeah.
Appreciate it. Young Gigabrain also resubscribed. Sorry, I'd missed that one. Idiot Turn with 5 more subs.
Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. Making it.
They're making it rain.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys. That huge. So I think, they've got to like, look, canceling them. I mean, so it's not, it's like, what is this going to do? Send a message. It's like, you know, who's some random. It's not like
Well,
go
I'll
ahead.
tell you what it does. Like, so, and why they're doing it. Like, it's not about her. The message I assume they're trying to send is like, so there's all these people that are like, I don't know if you want to say new media influencers. They're TikTok influencers or Instagram influencers or whatever, right? Where they do podcasts. And we're seeing a world where some of them try to get into stuff like, I don't know, TV or movies or things like that. I mean, not all of them, I guess, but this is probably sending a message to those people that if you do something like this, that path is closed to you. You follow what I mean?
Yeah, that's what's weird is like it's not like, you know, Red Scare has a very peculiar place. Like, I'm not saying they're obviously not Nazis. Anna's Jewish, and I think Dasha is like a super Catholic. However, they have, like, you know, Diana Mosley, Diana Mitford, Oswald Mosley's wife.
Yeah.
You know, she had this place that she was like this. I mean, she like was like friends with Hitler. However, she was able to just like sort of mosey around high society and be friends with whoever she wanted to. Gringo, Texas, smashed the goal. Fuck yeah, man.
I have more. We're going another hour.
Hell yeah.
We really appreciate
Smash the goal. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Diana Mosley, we talked about her before. She was able to kind of do whatever. And it seemed like people didn't really mind this. Like, it wasn't like, it's not like she went around like, she wasn't organizing a genocide or whatever after the war or whatever. But she was one of the only people you could kind of ask about it. There's always been these women that are just kind of, women aren't really threatening by nature. You know what I'm saying? And so they're just kind of allowed to go around, have conversations, whoever they want. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, if you guys have Twitter, you know that them interviewing Fuentes is a controversial figure, even on the far right. And so, I mean, they had a lot of people that were on the that were like other people who you could be canceled for talking to, that were pissed off at them about that. But ultimately, it's like, well, you know, they're women. They talk to everybody. Women don't have to play by the rules of men, etc. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're okay. I have a big thing about this. I'm going to cut loose and go buck wild so we hit the goal. I'm not going to censor it. Fredo, before I get started, do you have any insights about what he's talking about there?
Go do your thing, man.
All right. So you're right in one sense and you're wrong in the other. Yeah, they're not threatening, but it's not about like, oh, they don't play by the rules of men. No, what it is historically, at least in the West, I don't know things about the East, whatever, doesn't matter. If you're a woman and you want to, you can create a salon, a place where people can come and talk about whatever is the avant-garde of the time. Sometimes it was religion. Other times it was politics. Well, right now it's politics. So you can be a lady and you can have a podcast where you entertain radical politics, and that's cool because you're talking to bad boys and bad girls, and you're it's not rebelling. It's just you're doing the equivalent of a young man getting on a motorcycle and jumping over a car like Evel Knievel. You're doing something that's exciting. It is edgy. One of the reasons why it's so cool is that anytime you're talking to people who are so dangerous that somebody could pick up a phone and get you in trouble. And that is, that's awesome. And women love that because like that's part of being the I'm trying to use language that's going to make anybody mad. Like being the matron that says, "Okay, everybody gather around, and we're going to have these conversations that are going to be the envy of other people." Because if you historically look at these women who've had these kind of like circles, like Oswald Mosley's wife, or in early American history, there like you had people like Dolly Madison or whatever. People would be jealous and want to be in that clique, and you would generate a lot of heat. You'd have a lot of people who were envious and they now hate you and would want to do the equivalent of canceling you out of high society. And far from being a downside or something that you wouldn't like about it, this just makes it that much cooler to have that role, to have that job. So that's what it is, in my opinion. It's alpha women podcasting, as Idiot Turn said. Yes, perfectly summed up.
That's pretty edgy. So you're saying like the part of the thrill is like, I mean, you could really see that with Diana Mosley, like, you know, she was like a member of like the aristocracy, but nonetheless, Hitler's not. And she like literally just like flew to Germany and was like, yeah, I want to meet Hitler. And like, she could do that because everyone said she was literally the most beautiful woman in England. The guy who was the greatest painter of the time in England, they were like, there was like, you know, what do you want to do? And he's like, well, I need to paint Diana Mosley before she dies. Before I die. And they're like, well, that's a Holocaust denier. You know, like by this point, she had been like, you know, it's more than just like the conversation we had now. Like England had like been at war with them, like, and they're closer and stuff. And they were like, you know, the government had pulled her passport and shit like that. I mean, she was like, it's not just like you shouldn't talk to this person. You're Nick Fuentes. Like this person is like not in prison, but like kind of close to it. Like they were formally in trouble from the government. They're like, you can't. Why would you do that? You can't do that. And by the way, this guy wasn't a big politics guy, right winger. He's like, well, I mean, he's like, she's like, you know, if I'm Botticelli, I want to paint the Venus. He's like, that's here. So it doesn't matter. So if you look like that, you can just say, yeah, you just sort of talk your way into meeting Hitler or whatever.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Let me demonstrate something, Fredo. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to give me an instant lizard brain response. Don't think about it too much. What's the coolest possible thing that you could imagine yourself being?
Race car driver.
Okay, Bog Beef. Coolest thing you can imagine yourself being. Lizard brain response.
Some kind of bandit.
Yes, this is the perfect med and border reaver response. Mine would be like warlord or something, right? Like that is the male fantasy.
Also, wait, not only is that the male fantasy, but to your point, there is some sort of like deep genetic memory here based on the three things we chose. The Scots-Irish guy picked a bandit. You, the Germanic guy, picked warlord, and I picked race car driver.
Exactly. You're in the hippodrome in a chariot circling around. Exactly. So that's the male fantasy. That's the coolest thing you could possibly do. What is it for a woman? I guess on the personal level, it would be like being married to the most powerful man on the planet. That's a very common one. If you've ever heard of 50 Shades of Grey, you understand that. But like the broader one would be you're dripping with jewels. You're in a beautiful golden palace, and all the coolest people in the world have come to gather around, and you're holding court, and you're the one that gets to be the person who decides who's in and who's out. You get to be the queen bee.